back to the channel and Pro Enzo Vids, and this is my round 23 NRL tips for 2022. So yeah, look, a new round, and it's an exciting looking round actually with some of the games that I'm looking at right now. And yeah, I'm expecting this to be a pretty entertaining round. Obviously, some sides are, just about locked in for the top 8 this year, even though I think the top 8's already set. Obviously, teams like Canberra can still make it and Roosters can still drop out. So interesting to see where those two sides how they go this weekend. And yeah, I just think that we got some great games coming up actually. As I can see here, the grand final rematch on the Thursday, Souths and the Panthers at Accor Stadium. That's gonna be massive, and that's probably the game of the round, to be honest. In my opinion, that's my game of the round so far. Souths and Penrith on Thursday at Accor Stadium. On Friday, you got Broncos and Storm. They're at Suncorp. Storm haven't lost at Suncorp since 2009, so can the Broncos break that drought? And then, yeah, you got two rivalry games in a row. Eels, Dogs, really big rivalry. And then you got Manly and Sharks, Battle of the Beaches. I'll be there that game, by the way, so I'll be in attendance there. Will be a vlog. And, yeah, look, I'm looking forward to the week ahead. But before I start, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Just like to say another thank you for those that got me to the goal of 2,200 subscribers. That was obviously the aim for the channel, and I got there last week. So thank you to those who have shown recent support and have subscribed to the channel. It means a lot to me and the YouTube channel as well. So yeah, look, if you're enjoying what the content I'm doing is doing at the moment, and if you think that yeah, I guess that you like sports and everything in NRL, then I think this is the right channel for you. So yeah, just the main thing is that you sit back and enjoy my round 23 tips. So the first game is the grand final rematch, of course, Souths and Penrith. So on to the first one, and it'll be a very exciting one on the Thursday. It is Rabbitohs taking on Penrith at Accor Stadium, 7:50 p.m. Look, as for how Souths went last week, well, they pretty much smashed Para at Combank Stadium, which I was surprised about because I originally tipped Parramatta, but definitely regret that one now. And yeah, no, Souths played really well. They were great, and they're going to bring that confidence into this game and the grand final rematch. I'm guaranteeing that. And Latrell Mitchell seems fit to play, so I think a side with Latrell and Cody in it is going to be very, very threatening, especially when Penrith don't have Luai and Cleary. So definitely makes it a lot harder for Penrith though. But how they went, Penrith, they were, look, obviously they weren't the best, but they did what they could, and yeah, obviously you can't win every game, so yeah, they're fine, and I'm sure that they'll be keen to go again. But looking at both sides now, so look, the Rabbitohs have Latrell's obviously confirmed to play. Campbell Graham returns from a fractured cheekbone. They sustained around 16, so Jackson Pulo goes to the wing, and Isaac Thompson drops to reserves after dropping out late last week. And young halfback Lachlan Ellis is back in the halfback jersey, where Tom Burgess remains sidelined, although. And Saluka Fafita is back in the starting side after missing in round 22 with back complaints, so Halmasela goes to the bench. And onto the Panthers side now. Dylan Edwards was a late scratching last week, and they lost to the Storm. But yeah, he returns from a sternum injury, so Charlie Sands goes to the bench and Robert Jennings goes to 18th man. Liam Martin has been cleared to play despite rolling his ankle against hang on, this makes no sense. I think the NRL got mucked up here. But Liam Martin cleared to play despite rolling his ankle, and Sunir Taruva keeps his spot on the wing with Talamay shoulder still another week away from returning. So look, my tip for this game, I'm going to back Souths for this one actually. I'm going to tip the Rabbitohs here. I think with Latrell, Walker, Campbell Graham being back, Murray, and especially how the Tolls going at the moment, I think that's a bit too much for Penrith, especially with them missing Luai, Cleary still. Yeah, I just think that Souths will be a bit too good at Accor Stadium, and the way they're going, it's very frightening. So I think they'll be a bit too good for Penrith. But yeah, I'm going to say Souths 1-12. Though I'm not going to go 13 plus. I think I'll go 1-12. And my first try scorer is going to be Alex Johnson, of course. I mean, that's going to be pretty much guaranteed, in my opinion. And then after that, I think anytime try scorers will be Campbell Graham in his return. I reckon Latrell will score. And I'm going to go with, in the back row, Kalama Matangi for it as well. And as for Penrith, I'm going to go with Brian To'o, Stephen Crichton, and I'll pick a forward as well, and I'll go the other back row off another team, Kikia. So both back rows, Kalama Matangi, and Kikia, the opposite back rows, will score tries. On to the first game of two on the Friday is the Cowboys taking on the Warriors at 6 p.m. at Queensland Country Bank Stadium up there in Townsville. So back in Townsville for the Cowboys after their loss to the Roosters at the SCG, losing 32 points to 18, I'm pretty sure it was. So, look, obviously a disappointing loss for the Cowboys in that one, but obviously playing the Roosters, who are red hot at the moment, and obviously have a good record. The SCG is never an easy task. So, I guess for them going back to Townsville now, taking on a Warriors team that will be full of confidence after beating the Bulldogs at New Zealand last Friday, but you got to think that the way Cowboys are playing, it's going to be very hard to beat them. So I expect them to be a very, very switched on and controlled side on Friday compared to the Warriors team. But getting through both sides now. Veteran winger Kyle Feldt returns to the wing, so that's good for the Cowboys. He comes back after 2 games with a hamstring injury. So the Hammer goes to the bench. Jermaine Tanua-Brown goes to 18th man. And Jordan McLean's been promoted to the starting side, and Cohen Hess goes to the bench. As for the Warriors, they have listed the same 17 as they had last week in their win against the Dogs. Look, I can make it pretty quick here. My tip for this game, the Cowboys should win pretty well, and I reckon fairly well as well. You know, at first I was thinking by 40, 50 points, but I just think that maybe with how the Warriors went last week, they'll be a little bit confident and might be like a little bit better. But I still think Cowboys will win 13 plus. I just think that will be way too good for the home fan to be in Townsville too. My first try scorer is going to be Kyle Feldt in his return. I think he always scores in Townsville, so I'm going to back him in there. And my anytime try scorer is going to be Scott Drinkwater, Val Holmes, and Ruben Cotter for anytime try scorer as well. And as for the Warriors, I'm going to go with Edward Kosi. He's been in good form for try scoring recently. I'm going to go with Viliami Vailea for one as well. And I reckon Dejan Assi will score a try as well. I really rate Dejan Assi. And for some reason, the Warriors aren't keeping him next year, which I'm really surprised about. So I think they're my try scorers and predictions there. And now on to the main game of the Friday. It is the Broncos taking on the Storm at Suncorp Stadium. Both sides are in great form as of recently. Look, obviously Storm were in a form slump before, but you know, after a couple wins in a row, they're starting to find their confidence, I guess, again, and are playing a lot better footy. So, yeah, I think that they will definitely be a big challenge to Brisbane. Broncos had a much needed win against the Knights last week at home, and it was a good one as well. Even though they weren't great to start with, they came well at the end. So, yeah, that was the main thing for them. And yeah, as for Melbourne, yeah, they've been in good form, and that win against Penrith on Thursday was a really big one. So both sides are definitely within a chance of winning. I have no doubt about it. But getting through both sides, the Broncos have no changes to their squad that beat Newcastle, apart from Kobe Hetherington has been named to start despite suffering a head knock against the Knights, and Ryan James goes to the bench. That's the only change really there. And as for the Storm, Jerome Hughes is returning, so that's a big in for the Storm, having Hughes back. So he's back from a shoulder injury. Felice Kafusi is still on personal leave after the passing of his father, which is fair enough. And young Tonamapaya will start in the centres with Marion Seve dropping out of the side due to a hamstring injury. Well, it's a very tough one to pick, isn't it? It's a very tough one. I was thinking about this today, where I should lean with, but I think with Hughes being back, and I think just the fact that Storm play so well at Suncorp Stadium and they haven't lost to the Broncos since 2009, I just think that will continue. And I think Melbourne, for me, I trust a bit more here. So I'm going to go the Storm here 1-12 though, not like a big margin, just 1-12. And my first try scorer will be the Broncos though. I think that the Broncos will score the first try. And that'll be through D. Louise Hoyter. I'm pretty confident he'll get a try as well, anytime or first, whatever, but he'll score. And I'm going to go with Corey Oates for a try. And I'm also going to back in Kurt Capel for one as well. And as for the Storm, I don't know if I've done this before, but I'm going to back in Xavier Coates for a double against his former club. I don't think he's played against the Broncos yet, because he was injured the last time they played each other. So, Coates for a double against his former club. And I'm going to go Nofaluma and Tonamapaya for tries as well. So, Storm 1-12. And on to Super Saturday now, the first game of 3. It is the big rivalry, the second biggest rivalry in the NRL probably. It is the Dogs taking on the Eels at CommBank Stadium at 3 p.m. Yeah, I can't wait. Obviously, it's a massive rivalry game. Obviously, you got to love a typical classical Dogs v Para rivalry. It's always a good game when these two sides play. Obviously, the last time they played each other, it was all Dogs that won, and they won a very big one on Queen's birthday. by 30 points. And yeah, they were really good that day. So can they back that sort of form up again against Parramatta? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, as for how they went last week, they were terrible against the Warriors last week. But I had a feeling it was coming because of the short turnaround they had against the Cowboys in Bundaberg going to New Zealand on the Friday. That's why I took the Warriors that game. And then as for Parramatta, they were just as bad. They had that big loss to the Rabbitohs, losing 26-0, and they got a lot to work on with the consistency especially. But getting through both sides, for the Eels, a huge boost for them is actually having Mitchell Moses back at halfback, so that's a big in for them. And Jake Arthur goes back to the reserves. Bailey Simonson is listed among the reserves as he needs a return from a hamstring injury. And for the Dogs now, a couple of big names in the extended squad with Englishman Luke Thompson and Tevez Pangai Jr. in reserve. So those two are a chance of playing, and wouldn't be surprised at their late inclusions. Thompson hasn't played since round 12, and Pangai Jr. missed the trip to New Zealand last week due to personal reasons. And Matt Bird is free to play after accepting a fine for a shoulder charge. Yeah, so look, this is a very tough one to pick actually, because it's hard to know where this game would be won, because I think both sides can definitely win it either way with the way they play. They play at their best. But I think just because it's at home, I just think that they would need to aim up this week when they come into finals time. I think they will this week, and I'll go Parramatta by 10, 1-12. But I'll tell you what, I will not be surprised if the Bulldogs won, because I said this last time when they played that Parramatta will turn up and win, but they didn't turn up at all. It was the Dogs that pretty much blew them off the park. But yeah, I think Parra will win, though, in a tight one. And my first try scorer is going to be... my first try scorer is actually going to be Josh Adokar for the Bulldogs. I think he's going to score. And I think anytime try scorers for me will be Braden Burns, Carraz, Avrillo. And for the Eels, I'm going to go with Sivo, Penasini, Gufferson, and Sean Lane. All right, on to back-to-back rivalry games now. It is the Sharks take on Manly at 4 Pines Park at Brookie. I as a Manly fan, I'm obviously pretty disappointed with the way the team's playing at the moment. They've lost 4 games in a row, and it could be 5 this weekend, for all we know. But I think it's their final home game at Brookie for the year, so I'm hoping that the emotion of, especially like guys like Foran, Tapau, Walker, who are all leaving the club at the end of the season, and Davey, hopefully, them and the team can just sort of play for them since their last home game at Brookie. But because it's a rivalry game too, I think that should motivate the boys even more, that it's a rivalry game. Obviously we don't like Cronulla too much, and it's the one that we have to win. Look, it doesn't matter if you don't win because our season's over, but you obviously want to beat your rivals. But it's a tough one to call. But looking at the Sharks have been red hot form. They smashed the Tigers at Tamworth last week, and if they bring that performance to this game, it could get really ugly. But as for Manly, yeah, I don't want to talk about the game. What happened last Sunday? Lost the Titans, and that's all you have to really say. It's a joke that we lost the Titans by 40, so it was embarrassing. But despite all that, I'm going to the game this Saturday. I'll be travelling there, so it should be fun. I'm going to Brookie again for another time this year. It's my 3rd time going there this year, so hopefully, it's a good performance by the boys there. But yeah, look, getting through both sides, obviously, Manly have Tolu Kola moved to the wing because Jason Saab's out for the rest of the year with an ACL, which is really bad. So Kola to the wing, Morgan Harper returns to the centres. Jake Travojevic has broken his hand and is replaced by Dylan Walker, and Jake's out for the rest of the year, by the way. So Dylan Walker starts at lock, which is very interesting, and Ethan Bullimore goes to the bench. As for the Sharks, Toby Rudolph faces a mud from the sideline with a torn medial. So Brent Hamlin-Ueli comes into the starting side with Andrew Fafita joining the bench after missing round 22 for family reasons. And Talakai remains sidelined with a shoulder injury, but Connor Tracy, Head Knock, and Matt Wallen-Quater back on deck for the Sharks this week. And Trindle and Ikavala and Colashun are the 3 men to drop out of last week's 17. Right, my tip for this game, going to tip Sharks here, but Sharks 1-12 only. I think Sharks win 1-12. I think at Brookie, being our final home game there this year, I expect a bit of effort. Not expecting a win, but I'm expecting a bit of effort. So I'll go Sharks 1-12. But my first try scorer is going to be Ronaldo Mulatalo. I think he'll score first, along with Tracy, and along with... I like Brendan Cora on the edge, so I'll go into Cora for a try as well. And as for Manly, I'm going to back in Tui Piloto for a try at home. I'm going back in Kohler. I think both wingers will score actually, Kohler and Tuipulotu. And you know what? I'm gonna go with a bit of a roughie here. No one's expecting this one, but I'm gonna go with Josh Aloiai for a try anytime try scorer too. I think Josh Aloiai will get one. So yeah, they're my tips there. And on to the last game of Super Saturday is the Roosters taking on the Tigers at the SCG at 7:35 p.m. Well, it might be pretty quick this one, but you know, I think Tigers have put in a little bit of effort in the past couple of games, but again, they've put some effort, but they've put some really poor shit performances out there too. So it's hard to get a read on Tigers, but yeah, look, I think this will be a one-sided contest probably. Roosters at the SCG are always too good, and yeah, that's all you have to really say, to be honest. But Sharks were too good for the Tigers and smashed them. As Roosters, too good for Cowboys and smashed them. So it kind of gives me an indication where I'm going to go with, actually. As for the Roosters, their team list now, so Lindsay Collins and Sia Takayaho, Cheekbone remain on the sideline, but the Roosters do roll out the same 17, so no changes after last week's win against the Cowboys. And as for the Tigers, Kevin Marlowe returns from an knee injury, so Staff Latoa moves to the centres and James Roberts drops out. Alex Sayafaf has been added to the bench and Tyrone Peachy goes to reserves. Stefano Utoikamanu, wrist, and Luke Brooks' calf are not expected to be back until round 24 at the earliest. So, my tip for this game, Roosters 13 plus, first try scorer, Tupo Bang. And my anytime try scorer is going to be Joseph Manu, Joseph Suwali, and Angus Crichton. And as for Tigers, if I was to pick at least one try scorer, I think Asu Kapala will score for them. Now moving on to Sunday footy, it is Dragons taking on the Gold Coast Titans at Wynn Stadium. So good to see a game at the Wollongong again. Obviously a very nice ground, and Dragons have a good record there too. So can they continue their good record there and good form at Wollongong? Have to wait and see. But you know, Titans obviously smashed my boys Manly at CI Super Stadium, and after 11 straight losses, they finally got a win, and it had to be against my boys, which is a shame, but you know, they had to win eventually, and that was a good one. So I'm sure they'll be very confident after that win, and they'll bring that into this game. And as for Dragons, look, their season's pretty much over. Losing to Raiders obviously was not a good thing for their season because it's now ended. They were close, but not close enough. So interesting to see how they react for this one coming up this Sunday. Getting through both sides, the Dragons have stuck with the same 17, so no changes after they lost to the Raiders. But as for the Titans, Tino Fa'asuamaleaui is back this week for the Titans due to, he had to miss Sunday's game because of his partner giving birth to another child. So congrats to Tino there. And also, Jarrod Wallace goes to the reserves list because of Tino being back. And as well as Aaron Clark remaining a hooker, replacing Aaron Booth because of his injury obviously last week. But Tanner Boyd and Adrian Brimson continue to play in the halves together. My tip for this game, going to be Dragons at Wollongong. I think they'll be a bit too good there. And I think they'll win 13 plus, actually. I'm pretty confident they'll have a big win at Wollongong against the Titans. Even though Titans play well against Manly, I think Dragons will be way too strong for them. So, Dragons 13 plus, first try scorer. I'm going to go with Matt Feagai. And anytime try scorers, Ramsey, Amon, and Sua. And as for the Titans, I'm going to go with Jojo Fafita on the wing, Brian Kelly, and Bo Fermor, who's in great try scoring form. And now to round out round 23. It is the Knights taking on the Raiders at McDonald Jones Stadium up there in Newcastle. So a game where I think it's going to be very tight personally. I think it's going to be a very close game between both sides because, you know, Newcastle don't have much to play for, obviously. I know there's a lot of drama happening in Newcastle during the week with Ponga and Kurt Mann. Obviously, a bit of trouble for some sort of toilet thing. Fucking who knows what they're doing. But, yeah, them two are in trouble. But also, Bradman Best and Nari Sawala both being stood down for missing team instructions or missing just information and stuff like that. So, yeah, look, there's a lot of drama at Newcastle. Culture issues and plenty of issues in general. But being back in Newcastle, I think they're a chance. But as for Raiders, the Raiders had that win against the Dragons, which was very important to keep their season alive in Canberra. So that was a good one there, and I'm sure they'll bring that confidence into this game as well. And yeah, like I said, Newcastle, a lot of dramas, and yeah, against Broncos, they weren't that good. But coming into the teams now, so looking at Knights' side, centre Bradman Best and winger Norris Wall have both been stood down. Obviously, I said that already. and we'll play New South Wales Cup this weekend. Edric Lee is back from a foot injury, so he'll start on the wing with Christian Mapapalangi making his NRL debut in the centres. Now, something interesting about Mapapalangi, actually, he actually played for Manly in the lower grades, actually, and we signed him from schoolboys, but we let him go for some reason, so hopefully that's not someone that bites us back in the future. But good to see Mapapalangi get a debut. And David Clemmer should be back on deck. So Jacob Seifert shifts to lock and Matt Croker to the bench and swipes to 18th man. As the Raiders, Joseph Tarpany Ribs is back in the front row. So Emre Gula goes to the bench and Ryan Stone drops to reserves. Winger Andy Cottree returns from a 1-game suspension, which pushes Albert Hopewell to 18th man. And Ricky Short's back as coach this week. And my tip for this game, going bold, going with the upset. I'm tipping the Knights here to win 1-12 at Newcastle. I think the Knights will end the Raiders season in Newcastle, and I think they'll be a bit too good. So Newcastle, I think it's going to be all blue and red that day. So I think they're going to end the Raiders season, and the top 8 will be officially set by then. First try scorer is going to be Edric Lee. Anytime try scorers, Mapalangi on debut, Dominic Young, and Brody Jones will all score. And as for the Raiders, I'm going to go with Nick Hotrick, Sebastian Chris and John Rapana. But anyways, everyone, that's my round 23 tips of the NRL for 2022. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And good luck to all your teams this weekend.